What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, a lot of people have been leaving comments with the announcement of Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather, and they keep bringing up Pacquiao, and for the life of me, I can't really understand it. I do realize that it was a mega fight that was supposed to happen some years ago. Me myself, I was on board with it. I wanted to see it. I had my predictions of how the fight would end and what would happen in that fight, and it never came into fruition. Be it Mayweather, be it Pacquiao, the Golden Boy, Top Rank, Mayweather, Cold War, whatever you want to call it, the fight just did not happen. Now, fast forward to 2013. I don't see why people are still talking about it. Um, One, it's funny that the fight didn't happen for whatever reason. I'm not even in this video. I've already stated my opinion on what I think happened. Um, I'm not even here to discuss that in this video. But realistically, the fight didn't take place, and it clearly lost some of its luster. And it's funny because some of the diehard Pacquiao fans, you guys failed to acknowledge the fact that if Pacquiao kept winning like he had been doing before, then this fight would still make a whole hell of a lot of sense. The reason it doesn't make as much sense now is because Pacquiao has not looked great, has not had a stoppage since 2009. He didn't look great against Shane Mosley. He had leg cramps. A lot of people thought Marquez beat him the third time around. Timothy Bradley won on the scorecards. He didn't look great in that fight. And then he got knocked out by Marquez in their fourth fight. So, based on all these reasons, the fight doesn't make that much sense. But it would still make sense if Pacquiao looked spectacular or continued to look good. Mayweather looked good against Guerrero at age 36. A lot of people thought it was a masterful performance, whether you thought it was boring or whatever. I mean, he still clearly dominated Guerrero. So if Pacquiao had did that in his last fight in the Marquez 3, and if he won against Bradley and didn't get knocked out in his last fight, then this fight would still make a lot of sense. So realistically, it doesn't make as much sense now. But it's Pacquiao's fault for decrease in performance or losing. Aside from that, like I said, I'm over it. I've said this a long time ago. I've been over it for a while. If the fight happens, great. If it doesn't, I don't really care. I would never hold my breath. Some of you guys have this affinity for this particular fight to the point where that's the only fight you want to see. Again, I was one of the people on the forefront that really wanted to see this fight. But just like a relationship, if you're with somebody, your significant other, and time again they cheat on you. I mean, that's gonna make you numb to the situation, and hopefully, if you're smart, you're gonna realize like, hey, I got to get out of this situation. I keep getting hurt in this situation, and with this Mayweather Pacquiao fight, it's just at first it was like entertaining the beef and the back and forth banter, but then it just became an emotional roller coaster. Like, we're gonna see it. Oh no, and then it was a letdown. So to me, there's only so many peaks and valleys in any situation that I'm going to go through before I just turn my back on that situation. There's only so many highs and lows that I'm willing to endure. And this one is pretty much maxed out. Like I said, being an avid fan of the sport, if it happens, I will watch it. But I don't care if it never happens. I really don't. Like if it never happens, I think there's other matches that that sound appetizing. Canelo versus Mayweather is one of them. I mean, that's a great two undefeated fighters. Even if Pacquiao were to fight Mayweather in their prime, Pacquiao wasn't undefeated even at that time. This is two undefeated fighters, both with a fan base. So, truthfully, and it's a fighter that's physically and naturally bigger than Mayweather. In the Pacquiao fight, it wouldn't be an issue of who's bigger, it's who's more skilled or skill for skill. But Pacquiao is clearly smaller in stature and smaller in terms of reach and measurements. So to me, this matchup makes more sense. There's other people that have earned shots or they're on their way to earning shots with Mayweather. So I'm all for that. Like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath for any one particular fight. And this fight it's kind of overstayed its welcome. So I don't see why people are still clamoring for this fight, why people still talk about this fight. Um, Truthfully, Pacquiao is one loss away from extinction, to be honest, and that's just being as blunt as possible. But it's true. In the sport of boxing, it's all about winning. What have you done for me lately? Type of attitude. He lost in some people's eyes, a lot of people's eyes, Marquez 3. Then he lost on the scorecards to Timothy Bradley. Then he got knocked out by Marquez. So if he loses to Rios, I mean, that's like three consecutive losses and a probable fourth in people's mind, which is the Marquez 3 fight. Some people thought he lost that. So that's really, you didn't look good or you lost your last 3 or 4 fights. So his career will be done if he loses to Brandon Rios. Even if Brandon Rios has an extremely strong performance and knocks him down multiple times and then gets TKO'd, I think Pacquiao's superstardom is really over because Pacquiao really has to look superior against Brandon Rios for him to ever be on the rise again. That's just my personal opinion. But again, back to Mayweather Pacquiao, I just don't see why so many people are still bringing up this particular fight. It really, to me, like I said, it doesn't matter. It's similar to Eric Morales versus Juan Manuel Marquez. That is a fight that I would have loved to see in its prime. I mean, absolutely loved it. I'm a fan of both fighters. I watched both fighters when I was younger. Um, Marquez is still looking good, but it got to a point where Eric Morales seemed to be deteriorating and slowing down and not looking like El Terrible. And Marquez still was consistent and still showing you that he still has something in the tank. So if the fight were to happen in recent memory, it wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't even care, like, because it's not going to show me what I need to see. It's not going to. I want to see Eric Morales versus Juan Manuel Marquez in their prime. But Eric Morales, again, he started to go down a notch. He started to decline. So if Marquez were to beat him, I mean that's not as incredible as it could have been at one point. And that's kind of how I view the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. If Pacquiao wins, you could be like, "Oh, Mayweather, he did a jail stint. He's getting older." So, I mean, he's on the decline now and his reflexes just got too slow. If Mayweather beats Pacquiao, you can say, "Oh, Marquez already knocked him out." So, realistically, despite who wins, I don't think it'll be full credit because the fighters are no longer in their considered their prime. There's always an excuse that could be made. We didn't get to see the fight when we wanted to see it, so like I said, it just lost its luster. It's not the same fight. It's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Does that fight still need to happen to seal anybody's legacy, or are you content with other matchups? Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.